Hello everyone, welcome. It is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Wild stuff going on. We've got a kaggle competition underway that we're going to check in on tonight. I hope you're doing well wherever you are, whoever you're with. Let's have some fun. This is going to be a quick little stream where we're going to just talk about the It's Corn competition, maybe check out the chessboard stuff that we've been doing, but probably not. So if anyone's out there, let me know in the chat. Hey, Thomas is in the chat. How's it going? Good to see you. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's make sure that I'm also paying attention to what's going on here. You got in here quick. Robert E is in the house. So Thomas and Robert E, have you joined the kaggle competition yet? Because it's a corn classification. And if anything will land you a data science job, it's being able to tell the interviewee, I know how to classify corn. And they're just going to say, you automatically get the job, obviously. You're probably going to be executive level. So we have to fire some people to move you up the ranks. And then they're going to say, not only that, but we want to make sure that you have more than 50% of the stock in the company, because you're so wise if you're able to identify corn with data science that you should probably be in charge of the company. That's what will happen in every interview going forward if you take part in this competition. Odinson, what's up in the chat? Yeah, stonks for sure. Remember when we did some stonks analysis on the stream? Let's look at this. This is the leaderboard of our competition. It's heating up. Odinson, the legend, in the chat right now is also in first place right here. I love it. 0.83. I didn't think we would get that high that quickly, but keep in mind, only 13 days to go. So this can be to your benefit. Let me adjust this a little bit. It's got to be perfect. Adjust that a little bit. But it can be to your benefit that this is so quick. It doesn't give it kind of levels the playing field. Because if you don't have that big GPU and you're not going to train models for days and days, this is your type of competition. Because, you know, I failed to mention this earlier, but you're probably competing in this if you're trying to get a GPU, because that is what's on the line. Back there, the NVIDIA TI 3080, you can win it if you get first place. So right now, if the competition was to end, who knows what the private leader looks like? Have approximately 20% of the test data here on the public leaderboard. But let's just pretend like the public leader is all there is and there's no shakeup. Odinson, give me your address because I'm sending you that GPU. That's what's going to happen. Up to $100 in shipping costs handled by yours truly. That's basically all the money I've gotten on Twitch and subs, going straight back into mailing it to you guys. But what else is up, chat? Let me know. I have been very, very excited, not only about this competition, all the energy around it, all the fun and learning experiences that we'll have with it, but I've been excited about how engaged the community has been. And it starts first with the discussion tab. If you're new to kaggle competitions, you always got to hang out in the discussions tab. I think you can. I'm following this here, but you can ring this little bell icon, and then you will be emailed anytime that a new discussion is posted. But people are asking questions. We already had Kurian asking about if we can use the 22K pre-trained ImageNet models, and I said, sure, why not? The whole point behind not allowing pre-trained models is that we don't want you to have a pre-trained model that has some leak of the corn in it. Like if for some reason you're training on a pre-trained model that happened to see the corn in the test set, then that would be no bueno. So that's what we're trying to avoid there. That's the whole reason. Hey, Clip, thank you so much for saying good podcast last night. It was fun to hang out with Nick Wan and learn from him. And I was going over it in my head and I was thinking, man, was I just like all over the place? I hope that was actually fun and engaging, but I had a great time. I hope Nick had a good time. I think he did. No bueno equals malo. Yeah, I think I learned that in Spanish. No bueno. I like saying no bueno though. Oh, look who it is. The Stallion. Yes, Jigga Man. We are here. We're hanging out. Data Basics in the house. How's it going? I think David J is here. How's it going? Some other streamers. I hired a financial coach. Excited. Watch out though. Watch out, Jigga Man. Those financial coaches are financial, they might be trying to up their own finances by getting you as a client. Okay, I'm always skeptical. The Corngram, this post, they trained Efficient Net. By the way, Moth, thanks for posting this. Currently in 5th place on the public leaderboard, by the way. Make sure they're a fiduciary. Yeah, absolutely. If they're not if they don't have fiduciary or whatever, then they're not looking out for your best interests. I'm running low on disk space, apparently. Hey guys, I just trained the Efficient Net B0 on the data set and wanted to share some results. So this is showing, I think what Moth is showing is that it's picking up mainly on the background, which I'm not sure if that's a bad thing, if it's like noticing how the edges are, but maybe augmentation would help with this. Yeah, so Matt OP says there's a couple ways to combat this. I think some augmentations should definitely help. I mean, you could like replace the color of the background. I don't know. You could do a lot of change. Do you have to do anything besides win the contest to win the GPU? Clipped. Yeah, you need to win the contest. And also solve 50 Mensa problems. No, we're not going to make it any harder than the competition. You just have to win the competition. And also, if I didn't mention, there are 5 Deep Learning Institute, NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute vouchers on the line. So 2nd to 3rd place, you're going to win those vouchers. So it's not all 1st place or nothing. Best notebook. And we're going to look at the notebooks here in a second, but those will get you Deep Learning Institute voucher. And then we're just going to give it out to a random Twitch viewer. So hang around. I wish they gave me more than one GPU, because then I would make it like a rando would also win it. It would encourage more people. But, you know, I did a Discord poll, and before we launched this, and I said, what would we prefer? Would we prefer to have the winner of the competition get the GPU, just a random participant of the competition get a GPU, or just a random person in general get the GPU? And the votes were tied between random Twitch viewer and the person who won and a random participant in the competition. And I feel like it gives them more incentive to try, right? Yeah, definitely. If you didn't see that exclamation on Discord, on Twitch at least, exclamation point Discord will get you to the Discord channel you should join, and you could have given your insight. And next time, maybe that's what we can do. How's the music sound for everyone? Oh, actually, since then, it looks like the random person who joined has started to win the poll, but hey, too late now. When I checked it, when I was making the decision, it was tied 7-7. It would have been amazing if it's just a random viewer. Yeah. Hey, if we get a lot of people involved in this, maybe next time NVIDIA will give us 4 GPUs and we can make that happen. So there's a lot of opportunities in the future. Make sure, by the way, if you're trying to win this GPU right here, you do need to register for the GT Free C conference. It doesn't have to be, it's going on right now this week. So you want to register ASAP, but even if it's already over, as long as you register and watch one of the sessions, the pre-recorded sessions, you can check that out and you will count as being eligible. Also, check out my Twitch. Oh wait, you're already checking that out. Follow me on Twitch and check out my exclamation point YouTube channel where you need to subscribe. It's a good place to be anyways, because we just hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you all. I appreciate it. Always a little confusing difference between subscriber on Twitch, subscriber on YouTube. It would be great. Would I be able to quit my job if I got 10,000 Twitch subscribers? I think that would never happen, but I still appreciate all the YouTube subscribers. That's been really fun. So happy when I see that channel growing day by day. Thanks, ETSW. I remember a couple of people watching before. Yeah, it was stagnant. We can look over my stats if you guys want. I could show you guys how much money I make and stuff. Or the lack of money that I make. If it's tied, it means you need to prepare 2, right? 1 winner, 1 random. I only have 1 GPU. Super LOL. I wish I could. 22K a month. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't even be worth. I would have a nice passive income coming in then. Give away my base. That thing's not worth the shipping cost. That's a Squire base. I don't think. I think I could just buy you a brand new Squire base and send it to you on Amazon. It would be better. So what else is going on? Okay, so I want to take a look at some of the notebooks because I tried to do an exploratory data analysis notebook when we first launched. I never actually made it public. That was by accident. But since then, other people have made much better notebooks than I could have ever imagined. And actually, that's what I prefer. So I'm glad I didn't make mine public. And we're going to take a look at some of these. Let's start with the most voted on notebook and work our way down. By the way, I'm going to vote on all of these because they are all amazing. And I thank you all. I can't wait to see the It's Corn ? One from Mariella. She always has some interesting notebooks out there. Some of the most unique, let's say, notebooks that I've ever seen on Kaggle. Okay, so starting out right out of the gate, Matt OP. Matt OP responded in the discussion forum about there are ways you can combat the issues that the third place person was noticing with the model they trained. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a distribution of the classes. This is always good to know because this distribution isn't necessarily the distribution of the test set, but it lets you know for the training set that it's imbalanced. We don't have a balanced each one of the 4 classes. Silcut is more rare. Pure is the most common, and whatever. 22K a month. Oh wait, what is 22K a month? What does that mean? 22K a month. Is that, Robert E, what I would make if I would? Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah. That's a pretty penny. I'm scrolling down here. I missed some of the bottom. Depends on how much money you spend. Well, I got kids, so you got to plan for the future. The children are our future, but they're also our expenses in the future. We're going to spend a lot of money on them to go to college, hopefully. Can we use TPU? Absolutely not, Odinson. No, yeah, of course you. That was a joke. Of course you can use a TPU. Why would you not be able to use a TPU? TPU, GPU, I don't care what you train on. Of course, Kaggle provides some free time of using a TPU. Oh, shoot. It just stopped my recording because I ran out of disk space on my computer. I should have heeded the warnings that were coming in. But you know what? Maybe it doesn't even matter because this is going straight up to YouTube. Yeah, so you can use a TPU to train. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. If you're gonna pay for like TPU time on Google Cloud, it's gonna cost you some money. But if you use the TPU that's given to you for free on Kaggle, you can train probably a pretty good model. So I actually haven't trained that much using TPUs other than just kind of rehashing out some other people's code. So it will be cool to see that. Okay, so this is just a value counts of each, if they're top or the bottom. So keep in mind, I don't even know that much about this data set other than, yeah, we do have the top and the bottom of the image that you're looking at could be the top of the kernel or the bottom of the kernel. I don't know what the difference is technically. I don't know the orientation that you make a kernel, a corn kernel that is, to determine what the top is, but I think they scanned both sides or something, so then the top just happened to be what was up. Okay, train set image dimension. I hadn't looked at the image dimensions, so they do range in dimensions. That's one thing you're gonna have to handle with your pre-processing. They're not already formatted like the NIST data set to clean square sizes. Hey, we got a new follower, Gaududis. Welcome to the family. We welcome every new follower to the family. By the way, if you subscribe this month on Twitch, you get a discount, I think, because it's September. Not that you need to, but if you want to, I'll spin the wheel for you. So welcome to the family. Let me know if in the chat how you found me. Someone in YouTube saying if you make a new Google account, you get free $300. Whoa, I did not know that. So that's cool. All right, so the height and the image and the width of these images are different. Here are some examples of pure corn seeds, broken seeds. These are discolored. It's a nice thing to see them and actually being able as a human to visually determine. Like I can tell that these are discolored. I can tell that these are broken. I mean, there's definitely some gray area there, but this one, like, it's obviously a pure. There's no pure corn seed than that. And then silk cut. So silk cut is something that I think means that like the silk within the corn actually caused it to crack. So that looks like makes sense. So great notebook, upvoted. Matt OP, good job. I can't wait to see when you start doing more. This one just blew me away. So I hope I'm saying that correctly. Notebook has just like a wonderful feel to it. When you're scrolling through this notebook, you're just greeted by these yummy looking and cute kernels, corn kernels, corn cobs. I don't know. I like that there's a lot of anticipation in the introduction, talk about it, and breaking down what we're trying to predict, as well as adding some humor. Like, of course, the pure corn is the best type. Cylinder. What does cylinder star mean? ETSW. Cylinder? Is that cylinder? So let's see what we have. Training path, a test path. Here's a question for you all in chat. How many people out there use pathlib when you're referencing a file path in Python? I tend to do it like this notebook does. I like the autocomplete feature in Jupyter where I can just tab complete the location of the files. And pathlib doesn't necessarily allow that. But I know pathlib is a better way to do it. LOL, imagine if the author of this notebook is an AI being tested by Google. This notebook author it is? Well. So what's this doing? Setting dark grid as the Seaborn style. Making some subplots. Doing some count plots. And these are basically bar charts with I love the numbers. Like there's some things that I think will never go out of style when analyzing data. Bar plots are so underrated. I mean, you can get so much across just by showing the bar plots of it. You don't need those scatter. Not to say anything about the plots in the last notebook, but you don't necessarily always need to know like the standard deviation of each of these bars. Sometimes the bar will suffice, but the added touch is adding the actual numbers to it, because then it draws the reader's eyes into exactly what the values are. You don't have to look at the y-axis and be like, what is this number? So I like the touch on this notebook. One suggestion I enjoy doing from time to time is just moving these numbers down into the plot itself, the bar itself, and making it like a lighter color. It kind of makes it pop too. I like pi more because it shows bar data. It also shows percentages. No, ETSW. I was starting to like you as a chatter until you said you liked pie charts. Is that what you're saying? And I'm just teasing you a little bit, but friends don't let friends make pie charts. There's nothing that a pie chart is good for. Thomas, why did you just randomly say Seaborn? So confusing. I like ETSW. I am giving you a pass on that, and I didn't want to call you out in a negative way because this stream is all about positivity. But reconsider pie chart if you're going to make one, because there's no real good reason to use a pie chart, and your eye can't visually see the difference between a pie chart. Can I find an example why pie charts are bad? I mean, I don't know if we should use this example, but okay, let's look at this. Look at this pie chart. Can we quickly tell the relationship in size between Reddit per se and Facebook? Quickly. Can you say, like, relative to Facebook, what is the size? I don't even know what this day is. Market share, and this is back in 2017, so that's why Facebook's so big and YouTube's so small. But I would like to see this nowadays. But you can't tell relative, right? Down here, we can see Reddit here and Facebook. You can quickly, your eye can see the relative difference. So this is why you should never use pie charts, people. There's one thing you've learned tonight. It's steer clear of them. I know they look cool. The only good thing that a pie chart is for I think it's XKCD. Yeah, this XKCD gives a good example of a good pie chart. Get a big advertisement. Fraction of this image, which is white. Fraction of this image, which is black. That's like the... All right. Enough piling on. I'm sorry. ETSW, I want you to come back at me and call me out on stuff. I see an increase. I like Sunburst chart more. Sunburst I haven't used. Okay, so this is good. This all is good. One thing I've learned too is matplotlib adding numbers in bar. It used to be that the best way was to kind of enumerate over each bar and then add these numbers, right? But there's a new matplotlib 3.4 version, which makes it a little bit cleaner. And it's this bar label method. And it's a helper method to kind of add these automatically. So I don't know if you used that here, bar label. You did it manually, or this author did it manually, which is fine. It's just know that this exists and it can make your life a lot easier. Where's Waldo? What are you talking about, Robert E? It's all about the corns. We're seeing some images of each. I like the fact that this author used a grid where you can kind of see a bunch of them at the same time. Another pro tip here. Another pro tip. If you do take one of these axes every time that you iterate over them. So this axis IJ, and you do dot axis and then dot off. You can actually remove the grids here, or the numbers here on the X and Y, unless you care about those. Hey, we got a new follower, Prime. Welcome to the family. Are you subscribed using Prime? Because you can do that on Twitch. Welcome to the family, though. Yeah, that would so axis.off will remove this X and Y axis, which sometimes can make it a little bit cleaner. Hey, Twizzers! Thank you so much for the subscribing. In sub month, we're gonna spin the wheel for you. This is our subscriber wheel. We do this every time. 10 push-ups. Let's go. I got shorts on. Thank you so much for the subscription, Twizzards. Twizzards? Twizzies? Have you talked in chat much? Thank you so much for subscribing. Let me know in chat. Twizzards, that's also a really nice name that you grabbed there. Are you a... Yeah, your account's from 2013, so you got a good username. Nice, enjoy your content lurker here. I love it, Twizzers. Thank you so much for subscribing. That's nice of you. All right, so this is good. Then talking about potential approach, I wrote a comment on this one and I said keep going because this is great. I want to see more from this author. Quick start EDA and model sub. This is Terps. Terps, who, by the way, I clicked on Terps's profile when I saw this, thinking, oh, they're probably University of Maryland Terrapins, right? Some sort of relation, but no, they're from Colorado, so I was close. Same country. Corn starter using Jeremy Howard's First Steps Road to the Top Part 1. Here's what I'll say. Okay, so Jeremy Howard, brilliant guy, helps form Kaggle, also now works on Fast.ai. I had never bought into the whole Fast.ai thing, but I will tell you something that should make you not make the same mistake I did. Last Kaggle competition that we launched, first place winner used Fast.ai. I think second place used Fast.ai. Handful of other competitions I've been in, winners used Fast.ai. It just works. And Jeremy Howard made it. So definitely check that out. If someone needs to get Jeremy Howard to tweet out a link to this competition and promote it, because Fast.ai is being represented big time. Okay. Okay. Right after I say that, I get thrown in my face is the reason why I was always turned off to Fast.ai at the beginning, and that's this import star stuff. What's Fast.ai, Robert E? It's a library that is kind of like, is supposed to make it super easy for practitioners to just use deep learning. But in going along with the library itself, Jeremy Howard actually has lectures and like a whole series where he goes through it and explains how to use it, and it makes sense. So it's built on top of PyTorch, it is. And I think the newer version, they were going to build on top of something else. It's like Jax or something. But yeah, so the one thing I hate about FastAI, and it's like, it would be so easy to fix, is like, don't do the import star stuff. But I actually, like when I started taking the course, I took a little bit of the FastAI course, and I had to go through and try to clean up all the stars. And then I don't know. I still think I learned a lot from that course. So then we're looking at some of the images. Oh, what are we doing here? So has the model been trained? So like I'm a little out of my element here because I don't know FastAI stuff that much, but I don't think I saw a model trained yet. So here's a data loader. Most PyTorch or TensorFlow, whatever you do, you need to make a data loader first. You can just hijack one that's made public for this data set, because then it saves you the time. All it is the code that takes the images from the disk and feeds it to the model with the correct label. FYI, in case people are interested, the FastAI course is free. It's correct. They're on YouTube, right? So check it out. Man, I'm really promoting FastAI, although I'm dogging on the .star stuff. Import star. I don't know what's going on here. Learn, show results. Where did learn? Did this actually train something? Make sure you know what model weights these are that it's loading in here. That's all I'll say about that. You can ask for clarification if the model weights you're using are okay to use. Probably are, but good thing to ask just to be sure. Hey, look at this! To do, flip, rotate. Proper label each photo, test more models. Think about it. Yeah, this is a great notebook, especially since it ends on a positive note. Poggers, now that we have a baseline, let's do it. This is awesome. That's a great baseline notebook too. What does it score? There's multiple versions, but I think this one had a pretty good score. So Terps, thanks for making that notebook public. I love it. It's corn time. Miwajuk. So another FastAI notebook. Great. This notebook is using pathlib. This is what I was talking about before. I know pathlib is better. So better than just using strings to represent paths. So do it this way. If you're new to Python, use pathlib. But you can't see where the import of pathlib was, because I think it's in this star. Does everyone understand why I don't like the star stuff? It's corntastic, Data Insider says. Nice. The reason why you use star is that you're basically saying import everything from this module. Import everything, and there's no way to backtrace what is in there that you're using. So I think pathlib was imported here, but you can't tell it very easily because there's star there. Little thing, but when you're debugging, it can be annoying. Get all sizes of all the images, heights and widths, min and max. Okay, distribution of the heights and widths. This is a nice way to do it. Some more images. This is the cool thing about FastAI. Good night. So we have Tapan Patel said, why? Why to what? Tapan, let me know what you mean. And then Renato Smiles said, good night. And I hope that's like a good night, like hello, good night, not a goodbye, good night. OS is the best, Clip says. Yeah, OS is fine, but pathlib I think is more. So backing up here, when you're training a deep learning model, a lot of the times the hardest thing to do at first, the main thing you want to tune in your deep learning model is the learning rate. And fast AI's, like, at least when I took the course 3 years ago, the biggest benefit of it is they have this built-in learning rate finder where you can actually find what should be one of the optimum places to start your learning rate. This always was tricky to me because you're not wanting to pick the valley. You're wanting to pick, this is showing like the loss at different learning rates. You want to pick a loss that's on the peak of this valley. So if you start training here, it's going to find a nice tidy resting spot in this valley here. So there's also, I guess, a fine tuning now. And then this is, I think, a confusion matrix. We saw this in the other one. So we can see where it's mislabeling a few of these. Yada, yada, yada. Great work. I think this notebook scores pretty well on the leaderboard too. 0.77. This will get you in the top 10. Hey, Rob. First time seeing you in stream. YouTube. Awesome. Hey, Pie Trader. Welcome, Pie Trader Detective. I know you all can't see the chat up there for YouTube people, but if you're on YouTube, come join us on Twitch too. I can send the link to my account here. And you can always join in both places. Hey, give me more eyes on my stuff. Let me get these internet points of how many people are viewing my stuff. Great job. It's Corn and then the Fast AI baseline. Is this another baseline? Hey, we got a new follower, Telecaster Beck. Welcome to the family. You're a family member now. Isn't it? What's the restaurant that's like when you're here, it's family? There are bots you can set that easily, which creates cross-platform chat. Yeah, that's what I'm reading right here. I'm reading the cross-platform chat, but it's not. If you're in Twitch, you don't see both, so I don't know. ABC123 is in YouTube too. Not sure if we need the link over here. Yeah, Data Insider. If you're in Twitch, you don't need the link. You'll just, that's a repetitive, that's called the infinite loop if you just keep on clicking on that. Pure Electric Teas, Electric Itties. Welcome to the family. Glad to have you here. Let me know if you're new to joining, how you found the stream, and let us know. By the way, if you do !competition, you will get a link. Competition. If you spell it right, you will get a link to the Kaggle channel challenge that we've launched. There is a GPU back there that's on the line. We also have some Deep Learning Institute vouchers for those of you who want to join us. Let me know in chat how you're feeling. If you have any questions. Ooh, this is a nasty corn. That's a nasty corn. That's a broken corn. They're training using a convex nano. Okay. Welcome to the family, Leo, the amigo. I like your username. Let us know in chat how you found the stream. I would be interested to know where you found it. Submitting predictions. So basically just making a test data loader that was made above and making submission. Nice, clean, and tidy. Nice notebook. Great job. I've upvoted it. You all should too. Corn. Rob, please attempt more CAG competitions live. I like how the name of the notebook has a request for me. Great job, Syed. I like that. Calling me out here. So here's the deal why I don't necessarily attempt Kaggle, like really grind on Kaggle, like legit competitions on stream. It's twofold. Number one, usually when I'm grinding on a Kaggle competition, I'm not making progress and it's really boring. So that's why I don't do it on Twitch as much. And number two is once you get further into the Kaggle competition, like let's say you're a month into a 3-month Kaggle competition, I think it's not really cool to share solutions, especially if they're getting people higher up the leaderboard, because it's a learning process for everyone, and you kind of ruin everyone else's work that they've done if you just publicly share your solution. So, I mean, obviously there are always exceptions to that, and I think usually after competition is a good place to go into detail, but that's also why I haven't been doing too well on Kaggle lately, because I haven't spending a lot of time on it. It would be great if you make more reinforcement learning videos for stock prices prediction. You got any plan for some reinforcement learning? We did some streams on reinforcement learning, and it's all new to me. So I'm probably not the best teacher of it, but maybe I could share my learning process with you all if we can get into that. That would be fun to work on. I think with stock price prediction, you can do a lot with the XGBoost models that I've shown. And I have a YouTube tutorial on forecasting. But then there's also just a lot of uncertainty that no matter what models you have, unless you're using some external sources, it's going to be really hard to outbeat the market. Usually, like the day trader guys, or the people who are making algorithms that are making these trades that make make the hedge funds a lot of money, they're making trades so fast, and they're leveraging the little dips and ups and downs in prices that go beyond what the data sources I have. So keep that in mind if you're trying to make money on the stock market by making a model. So what's going on right now? Says Lemoniskate, welcome to the family. We're just hanging out. I'm drinking a bubbly. I love bubbly. If your starting point is the valley where your random steep result in partial derivative that will never get back to global minimum, that's a good question. I think the idea with that steepness is that as you train the model, then the minimum actually can shift around. You don't really know what the true optimum place for your model to sit is until you're training it. But that's just a good rule of thumb of where to start your learning rate. And then obviously there are learning rate schedulers where you're kind of manipulating the learning rate as you train your model. And it kind of helps your model find a good valley to sit in once it's fully trained. Easier to become a senator to reliably beat the market. Oh yeah. Using insider info is always a surefire way to win. Quant models are rarely, if ever are successful. Yeah. Check out the what was the competition that I want to say T-Boon pick, but it's the competition that was put out for who could beat an index fund over 10 years, and all these hedge funds tried and no one won. Yo, Rob, how are you? How are you doing? Lemony Snicket. It's been a while. I'm just hanging out. And Leo, welcome to the chat. I'm so glad you're here. So this is wait, is this another fast AI? No, this is just a TensorFlow one. But I answered the person's comment about wanting me to do more Kaggle competitions live. We'll try to do it later. When we get a good one that launches right away, I'll try to dive into it. So this model is TensorFlow. I'm happy to see that I'm not the only one who has this Numba node 0 issue. When we were trying to code this up on Sunday, it looks like it's an issue with the version of TensorFlow and the configuration of the Kaggle notebooks. So this is a convolutional 2D. Well, this super simple model. 2D, max pooling, flatten that, a dense layer, another dense layer, it's getting smaller until your last soft max activation prediction output layer. Training with metrics accuracy and sparse categorical cross entropy. That's it. I didn't know about that loss function. So looks like the model, I don't know if the model's training. It's predicting a lot of pures. What does this model get on the leaderboard? I can't tell. Yeah, so this is why typically, this is a good way to learn how to create your model by actually creating each layer itself. But nowadays, what most people do for image classification is there are like really smart researchers out there who have designed architectures that are proven to be really well trained, easy to train, and also robust when doing image classification. Not only that, but then people take those architectures, they train them on ImageNet, which is a huge data set of labels for images, and then you kind of have a good starting weight to start with your model. But this is a great way to learn, is to actually make them from scratch. Inference PogChamps number 3, and the training. So we got a split between the training and the inference notebook. This notebook by Bibashu, I think I said that right. Bibashu made this awesome notebook. I was looking at this earlier. Very clean PyTorch notebook. First PyTorch one I've seen. PyTorch is definitely cool, really powerful, more customizable, I'd say, deep learning library for training things like image recognition. Does require it to be a little bit more robust, verbose, if you're gonna actually write out all the loops for each validation and epoch and do backwards on your loss and all this stuff that can be confusing to people when they're first learning deep learning. But trust me, if you understand everything going on in these loops, it kind of follows the same idea anytime you train a model. And then you can actually add in a lot of custom ways of training your model later on. Okay, so coding these targets into numbers. I don't know if there's actually one hot encoding. And this is the first one. I don't know if other notebooks had this, but first notebook I'm seeing with some augmentations. Augmentations are a great way when training image classifiers to really improve their performance, because you do things like add random contrast, hue and saturation. You normalize all your images, and then you can even do things like rotating the image, flipping the image horizontally. Now, normally you want to do that on your training data, but not when you validate the model. There is something called test time augmentation, but we're not going to get into that. Unless you guys want to know, let me know. So this is training for 5 epochs, I think. It's cool. All kind of hard-coded, written, all the steps to take to train a model. It looks like the validation accuracy is 0.81, so this should do pretty well on the leaderboard if that holds up. It looks like there's 5 different folds trained. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All in the 0.79 to low 8.8 range. And here's the submission. The public score here is a 0.65. So I don't know, maybe there's a leak in the training. I'm surprised. I would think that it would do better on the leaderboard, but you never know with these things. Keep trying. Still early. And we are going to end actually this review of the notebooks for this competition with none other than Mariella notebook called It's Corn ? Code by Vince. Oh, so using I like the reference, the plant stress classification notebook using MobileNet, which is a pretty. Why only 3 submissions per day? You shouldn't need more than 3 submissions per day, Odinson. If you have good, proper cross-validation, trust that cross-validation. If you notice, the leaderboard consists only 20%, the public leaderboard of the data set. So don't rely too heavily on that leaderboard score. Rely more on your local validation, and you'll be better off in the end. But yeah, I think 3 is enough. 3 is enough. If you have a max team size of 3, that means you could potentially have each member of your team submitting once per day. It is a short competition, though. We only have a few weeks left. Placing data into data frame. So this is like the data frame with the location, and if it's test or train. Pre-processing. Oh, so this is using that TensorFlow from what's this flow from data frame? Where's the image generator imported from? Keras. Okay, so this is like a Keras version of the. Yesterday we're using the TensorFlow Keras. Maybe it was an older version of creating a data set from a folder. Of course, this is what I was looking forward to. Some memes. I need this card. DZ Gaming Force. I'm not familiar with that. That's awesome. Model evaluation. This always scares me a little bit when you see the training loss and the val is kind of learning a lot. Validation does not look to be learning much. So this is a sign that maybe we don't have a good learning rate here. Keep in mind, every data set is very different in image classifications, and it kind of takes some intuition to know how to tune that. So we have a confusion matrix here. So a lot of confusion going on here. Oh wait, so is this just trying to predict train from test? So this is like adversarial notebook to try to see if the test is different in any way. Oh, and here we see some of the activation layers of where it's really learning. What is this? Invidia with an IN in Italian means envy. Maybe envy of their super talented cast. I don't speak this language. 2PC. That's great. Okay, great notebook. I've upvoted it. Clip is saying, have you seen people iterate over random seeds in order to create some pseudo cross validation? Iterate over random seeds in their train test split. So there is something called, if you look in sklearn, if you look in sklearn cross validation, there's a train shuffle split. So what this does is just like we'll shuffle the data, do a train test split. I thought it was called train shuffle split. Stratified shuffle split. There's a whole bunch of these here. But if you just did that shuffle split over and over again, you basically would have infinite folds that you could train on and validate on. With really small data, that could be helpful. Yeah. Yeah, so check out that. Yeah, this group shuffle split, I think is what I've used before. It groups, it shuffles, and then you do your train test split, and you can do it multiple times. You can just do a ton of times. You could, I mean, validation can be done all the way to the extent where you train a model holding out just one sample from the training set, and train as many models as you have samples, and just do hold one out validation. If you have the resources to do that, sometimes it's helpful. With big data like this, this is a big data set, but with image data like this, sometimes that's like overkill, and just getting a good cross validation is all you need. Any questions about the Kaggle competition, people? Are you as excited? Can I link the notebook? Yeah. It's a different contest. Yeah, clip. I'll take a look at it. I was going to make this stream a little bit short tonight. I hope that's cool. I hung out with Nick last night, so got to bed a little later than I had hoped. And I just wanted to check in on this competition because I'm super psyched about it. And I hope you are too. Again, this is running until, let's look at the timeline. It's ending on October 3rd. So you don't have much time left to join, but there's plenty of time to learn. I hope a lot of you do end up joining. Great corn petition, Data Insider, with the comment of the day, corn petition. I like it. Search for seed and seeds. Just search in general. Oop, I searched for corn petition. For seed and seeds. Pumpkin seed data set. No kernel puns. Yeah, there could be a lot of those. TKY, welcome to the family. Thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well. New here, using your Roberta model video on some tweets for assignment. I'm not using Roberta here, but is that a question? Or are you saying that's what you're doing? I am. Oh, you are doing it. Can you show me how you're doing that? Oh, in that notebook, search for seed and seeds. Which notebook? Oh, you did link it. Okay. For seed and seeds. Training on seed, and then they have 4 random seeds to do. Yeah, this is basically just bagging. Like training multiple models, multiple folds, multiple seeds. When you see like tabular competitions on Kaggle back in the day had a ton of this stuff because the data was small enough that you could just like really make sure you weren't overfitting by training more and more models and just stacking them. I mean, it's still true, but you'll see this a lot when you want to get that slight boost from your model. You want to make sure it's not just overfit to even those 5 folds in the data. Because remember, if you check out my YouTube channel, I have a whole thing on why cross-validation is so important. That's not mine. What's my... So I talk about in this video about cross-validation, and all you're basically doing is like more train test splits on your training data when you do cross-validation. You you're just splitting it more and more times here. Randomly splitting it more and more times. So and then ensembling these models is basically just averaging all the predictions. So you see here, they're dividing by the number of folds. And if they're doing, I don't see the train.k fold. I don't see where they're actually changing the splits. But I believe that's what they're doing here is they're just training like 4 times as many models and they just added a bunch of random seeds in there. It's just stacks on stacks. Yeah, this is kind of like stacking. So stacking is a little bit more complicated than that. Stacking is training a bunch of models and then training models on the results of those models. So it's a really tricky thing to do and a really easy thing to mess up when you're working on a Kaggle competition because I think a lot of the top people say it's not necessary most of the time. But some other top Kagglers swear by it, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. The good stuff is a nice simple boost model like GBM with the solid hyperparameter tune. Yes, but remember TK York. When you're tuning parameters for a model, How do you know they're the best if you only have the training set? What is the best? Well, the best would be a model that could perform with 100% precision and recall and accuracy and all that stuff. But aside from that, how do you determine what model is better than the other? What parameters are better than the other? This is always the question that you need to be asking yourself as you're training the models, because it's dependent on how you validate the model. That's why setting up a good cross-validation is important, because you can over-tune your parameters to be good to just one train test split. Or you can over-tune your parameters to be so tuned to the 5K folds that you have. Anything's possible. But this person is actually trying to tune to multiple seeds. Pick a parameter like AUC, agreed. AUC is the metric though. How is stacking different than mice? What is mice? Mice is multiple imputation by chained equations. Oh, basically missing data is predicted by observed data using sequential algorithm. So this is like imputation techniques. It seems like mice. So that's another thing you can do. That's really powerful in competitions is it's kind of different than all this, but very similar, in the fact that you're just trying to tell the model more and more what to focus in on. So when you stack your models, you're kind of saying like, here are the errors of my model. Now make these better. And that's kind of what a boosted tree does anyways, is it's building its next tree to minimize the loss of all the previous ones. But the other trick is actually doing feature encoding, or target encoding, it's called. So one of the competitions that I got my solo gold medal in, that was a key to doing well in that competition, was actually taking the raw values, bucketing them into like certain buckets, and then just straight up encoding what the most common target is for that bucket. Mice is a package for R. That's why I'm not familiar with it. So I did on Abhishek's channel, did a stream with him about filling in missing values. Let's see if it comes up if we just search on YouTube. This is incognito. So kaggle missing values machine learning. Here we go. This one I go through and I talk about, let's put this in here. I talk about some approaches for missing values. And you can do like drop those values. You can just leave them alone. You can impute. And then you can even use models that impute the values, use light GBM to impute those values. So I'm going to put this in the chat. Check out, subscribe to his channel too, if you haven't already. Okay. Do I have the energy to do some more stuff? Or are we good just talking about the corn competition tonight and ending here? Feel like I can open up a whole can of worms if I go into some of this other stuff, but take a break. Okay. TK York, you're right. Yeah, I hope this stream was good, short and sweet, and we talked about the competition. Please join it if you haven't already. Just being on the leaderboard helps me out, and really it does help me out a lot if you attend GTC. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about was with GTC, they did announce some stuff today. So yeah, use this link, guys. I'm going to put it in chat. Please sign up using this link. It helps me get prizes like this in future competitions. And I think it'll make the channel more exciting. Yeah, he's saying whatever, exactly what my profs say. What do your oh, I'm saying what your professors say? Nice. That's good. It's good that I'm not saying the opposite of them. I don't want to be setting you astray. So, yeah, check out that. Let's check out NVIDIA. Let's see what news came out of NVIDIA today. NVIDIA delivers quantum leap in performance. What? Introduces new era of neural rendering with GeForce RTX 40 series. So I'm sorry to say it, but that GPU is going to be a little bit out of date, but still, you do win it for free. It's not a 40 series. But these look sweet. This is my Christmas present. I want one of these for Christmas. I'm not going to get it, but I want it. I don't get that into the tech specs, but I'd be interested to see how well these do on, like, are they focused on gaming, or do they have like actual deep learning GPUs they're coming out with? Video CEOs tries to soothe over investor angst. I don't have angst. Uh, 4080 is 16 gigabytes, I think. That's pretty good. Oh, is the price really high? Let's do YouTube. Here's some of the highlights. That looks pretty sweet. Turn the volume down on this.
RTX DI uses ray tracing to do direct illumination from millions of lights, casting shadows from all lights. RTX DI is
a lot of details on the lights. See, we're not as
new frame
focused on the graphics results of it, although I'm sure it's going to look awesome. Like, let's see what the looks like. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I don't game as much as I used to. I have been playing a good bit of Elden Ring. The right does look better, but they both look pretty good. That looks amazing. That looks absolutely amazing. And granted, we're watching like a stream 1080p version of what this probably looks like in 4K or whatever on your machine when you're running an actual GPU.
We created an Omniverse application.
So a lot of good announcements coming out of GTC. Register, hang out, check it out. Thanks. Who has time to game? I know. I've actually been making time lately. I've been making time for it with it's like been my thing for relaxing. I've been playing on my laptop in bed because my Linux machine can actually run Elden Ring better than my Windows machine. So love that. Love that I can run Linux games. Nothing better than that. That was like really the only thing holding me out from just completely abandoning using Windows. And I don't think I've logged in my Windows version or drive or whatever in a long time. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. Again, sign up for the competition if you haven't already. Let's get hyped. I don't think I'm going to be streaming on Thursday. So because there is a football game I want to watch. So probably on Sunday is the next time you'll see me, but hang around. Let's go ahead and raid Nick and have a great night. Nick had me on his stream yesterday, which was a lot of fun. And we're going to raid him today, give him hype. Hang around for him. Ask him about corn. When we raid, let's have a lot of positivity, but also ask his ask how he feels about corn in general. I know corn had some connotations a while ago. And then there was like the corn kid meme where he's talking about how much he loves corn. That was really why yeah, ETSW's talking about some stuff. So, yeah, we're talking about the good stuff. All right, so let's raid Nick. I'll see you all maybe on Thursday, probably not, probably on Sunday. And hope you guys all stay positive. Love you all. Have a great rest.